check out shares of Uber cruising higher today on the back of some comments from the company's CEO. Let's get to Deirdre Bosa with the details. Debo.
Melissa, well, he said this morning that a recovery in rides is being led by Asia, while U.S. volumes, they remain down. He also commented on the worker classification battle in California. On the plus side, Uber is starting to figure out what its business could look like if they lose that November 3rd ballot measure, Prop 22, and if they have to reclassify drivers as employees. Khosrowshahi said that prices for consumers, they would increase by 25 to 100%, though the size and scale of its business will be what he calls a big question mark in California. So that backs away from the notion that Uber could leave the state entirely if it doesn't go their way. But guys, on the other hand, such a move changes Uber's entire business model, and it could also set the tone for other states considering similar legislation, in turn making Uber look less like a tech upstart, more like a delivery or taxi company. When Uber was valued at $76 billion in private markets just a few years ago, it was considered a disruptor with big ambitions in freight and autonomous driving, among other moonshots. CEO Dara Khosrowshahi, though, he has since taken a different tack, scaling back on those ambitions and considering a new regulatory landscape, which, guys, would have been unthinkable in the Travis Kalanick era. Its market cap, now around $64 billion, may reflect that shift. Back over to Melissa.
So let me get this straight, Deirdre. Investors are giddy over the fact that Uber doesn't sound like it would leave California, and they're totally overlooking the possibility that by hiking prices, they've narrowed the gap between Uber rides and taxi rides or limo rides?
Well, they've already displaced taxis, the large proportion of taxis, at least in a way. So perhaps now they're just filling that gap and they're getting paid more for it. I mean, there's been such a focus since the company went public on delivering profitability, right? Perhaps at the expense of long-term ambitions. We don't know that yet, but this is one way to get there. Also, perhaps, Melissa, on those comments that rides are at least recovering in Asia, so perhaps they will recover here in the United States as well. But also remember that Uber has made this big pivot towards food delivery away from ride sharing.
All right, Deirdre, thank you. Deirdre Bosa with the latest on Uber. Karen, how do you think about this story if you heard those comments from the CEO?
Yeah, I think he also talked about profitability in 2021, which must have been part of what moved the stock. I mean, I can't help but wonder, let's say they have to increase prices dramatically. I don't know that that consumer, that Uber rider, has inelastic demand, that they'll take that ride no matter the price. So, California still remains a very big question mark. I'm not as excited about the delivery business. I think the management is outstanding. I think he's fantastic. But all that having been said, I don't really love the business or the valuation at this price, so I don't own the stock.
The price increase, according to Khosrowshahi, could be up to 20 to 40% above current prices in the large cities of California and up to 100% increase in the small cities in California. Guy Adami, I mean, if you're a consumer and all of a sudden that discount for an Uber ride goes away, I don't know. Well, you're an old-fashioned guy. You probably go outside and hail a taxi yourself. But I would think that is less incentive to take an Uber.
And I tell you, it's where I live, you wait a long time for one of those yellow cabs to come by. But I mean, listen, they've clearly done some studies on this. They clearly believe that they'll be able to put those increases in place and not have a huge disruption. I'm not certain that's the case, and there's a lot going on in California right now. I'll say this, though, in terms of the stock, Uber has completely outperformed Lyft over the last couple months. So into earnings on November 5th, I'm more inclined to sell Uber and buy Lyft. And quickly, Mel, are you a fan of Bo Jackson? Were you a Bo Jackson fan back in the day?
Crickets?
No. Is that a no?
I don't know.
No,
who Bo Jackson
I say that
is.
because the great. Yes, you do know who Bo Jackson. One of the great taglines is Bo knows sports.
Oh, yeah.
I say that because Dan Nathan gave Deirdre this nickname, and Debo, we should make T-shirts, Debo knows, because her and Josh Lipton together, I mean, that's like the dynamic duo of CNBC. I just want to give a shout out. Great nickname by Dan Nathan, but great job by Debo. She knows.
We've got an outstanding San Francisco bureau, as our viewers know.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.